Welcome to a GTV Preview Show for racing at Turffontein. We race on the inside track Saturday the 1st of October, and it is a doubleheader, Hollywoodbets Greyville and Turffontein alongside one another. Looking forward to some bumper pools this Saturday the 1st of October, and race number 1 that will start off proceedings at Turffontein on the inside track. 12 o'clock is the time you need to get your bets on. 1600 meters the distance, 9 races on the card, so the bipod does not start in the very first race. Now, having a look at race number 1 over the 1600 meter trip, it is a race where a couple of horses are in with chances. Now, number 7 Ignatius is a runner that did make up some nice ground on debut, fastest 400 to finish. He was beaten 3.5 lengths behind Lazado. Then last time out, 13 to 10 favourite, expected to get the job done. He found one too good in the form of Kentalyn Bay, who has come out to win since once again. So beaten 4.3 lengths behind Kentalyn Bay last time out. Ignatius, he's drawn in gate number 8 this time around. So a wide draw over the 1600 meter trip. But he was drawn in the same gate last time out as well. That was over 1450. A runner that should be in the firing line. Number 8, a Run for Cover. Now this horse holds Ignatius on that run behind Lazado. He's 2 lengths superior to Ignatius. He's got a better draw to deal with. And despite him returning off a rest, I think that Run for Cover is the horse that they all have to beat here. Now, if we have a look at that form line behind Lazado, a horse by the name of Texas Red is a subsequent winner, along with Central City, and there's been multiple places from the form line. I think race number 1 lies between these two horses, number 7 Ignatius and number 8 Run for Cover. Number 3, Give Me a Diamond, a horse that blinkers go on, and the tongue tie was on last time out and is off this time out. Give Me a Diamond, drawn out in gate number 7, one for maybe those exactas, trifectas and quartets. But race number 1, I think horse number 7 Ignatius and number 8 Run for Cover are the ones that could certainly fight out the finish in the first race on the card. And that's going to be run over 1600 meters. Race 1 does not form part of the bipod or any exotic. So place accumulator, third race bipod in race number 2. And we'll move along to race number 2 next up. And the second race is going to be run over 1600 meters. 12:35 is the time you need to get those bipod bets on. Maiden plate for the fillies and mares. And in this lineup, a horse by the name of Intoxicating is the one that tops the boards at 14 to 10 in the market. A runner that does return off a 84-day rest, taken on winners in our last 3 starts in fact, and all 3 starts to date. Intoxicating is a horse that I think has to be given the utmost of respect here, just based on who she's been beaten by. The likes of Quantum Theory last time out. Prior to that, she was beaten behind Maharani, taking on multiple winners. And if we have a look at that run, a horse by the name of Rock the Fox, who finished a bit down in the field, finished in 7th position, is a runner that did come out to run an absolute cracker in a Group 1, the Tequini Stakes. And many would argue that maybe Rock the Fox is the one that got up ahead of Canadian Summer, but many would say Canadian Summer was victorious there. But Rock the Fox nonetheless was a crack in second in the Grade 1 Tequini Stakes. And Intoxicating, well, she got the better of her on that occasion, and she's run behind the likes of Sweet Pepper as well. So if Intoxicating doesn't just need the run, then I think that she's a horse that they all have to beat, and a bipod banker. But a horse that has to be thrown into the mix, number 6, Gregarious Girl. Last time out, she was comfortably beaten behind Rocket's Red Glare, who romped home to victory on debut, winning by 8 lengths. Gregarious Girl, 3 to 10 favourite, just second best on the day. She's drawn in gate number 3. She steps up in trip. I think the distance is going to be right up her alley. And at 3 to 1 in the market, another horse that I think should fight out the finish. So numbers 4 and 6, I think these two horses will be the two horses that run into the top 2 positions in the second race on the card. And whether you're going to bank a number 4 Intoxicating, that's totally up to you. I think you could certainly get away with Intoxicating in race number 2. But if you're looking for cover, then certainly go with number 6 Gregarious Girl, 4 and 6 in race number 2. We'll move along to race number 3 next. And the third race is the opening leg of the Place Accumulator. 1600 meters the distance for this race. And it's a fillies and mares 80 handicap. 10 past 1 is the time you need to get those PA bets on by. I've gone with number 3, Tabby Catcher, as a PA banker. This runner at 28 to 10 in the market. Now, last time out in an apprentice 69 handicap, beaten behind Fascinada. Sosibo rode on that occasion, and that's the apprentice Sianda Sosibo. She had the 4 kgs off the back and was narrowly denied, but Samango Kumalo gets back in the irons, and if we just have a look at his record with this individual, 3 rides for a win, a second and a 4th. She's the horse that I feel has got the most scope for improvement in this lineup. On a mark of 60 off 89, received 3 points after the last start, 56.5 kgs on the back, over 1600 meters. That seems to be our best trip to date, and I think Tabby Cat is going to go very close here. Magical Flight, I've gone for her on a couple of occasions. She's been costly to follow. Finished 4th last time out behind Meet at the George on the poly track at Hollywoodbets Greyville, but is a runner that has tumbled down in the race, and from a 98 down to 77. She takes on weaker company than what she has meted in her recent starts. This is a Class C event, average rating of a 54. She's been campaigning against 90s, 80s, 86, 88, so a lot stronger than what she does meet here. And if she just bounced back to a better form, then a Magical Flight could be seen to some good effect here. Scratch in the race is number 6 Luna Ballad, just coming through earlier. Number 8 Angel's Wish. I like this runner last time out at 12 to 1 in the market. She found the support into 6 to 1. Mark Khan got the job done. 3-point penalty. Drawn in gate number 1. I think she's a horse with confidence up. I think that she's a runner that could certainly go one, and I think could win a couple more races. 4 connections, best of the draws once again. 52 kgs on the back. Marco van Rensburg gets a ride this time out, so she's another horse that I'd include for those winning positions. But in terms of those place accumulators, I'm happy to be with number 3 Tabby Cat. I think this horse should go very close to winning, especially with Samango back in the irons and going over 1600 meters once again. Moving along to race number 4, and race 4 will start the pick 6 at Turffontein on the inside track. Race to be run over 1450 meters. Bloodstock SA Sales Cup for the fillies, and you need to get those pick 6 bets on by 13:45 for race number 4. A PA banker in this race for me is number 2 Feather Boa. Now, despite Miss Daisy being a lot better weighted in terms of the best weighted column than Feather Boa in this race, Feather Boa, she did beat Miss Daisy at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Hollywoodbets Durban July Day in the Bloodstock South Africa Sales Cup, and she was 2.4 lengths in front of Miss Daisy, and they carry level weights once again in the lineup, and on draws they're drawn right next to one another. Miss Daisy has had 3 runs after that, whereas Feather Boa only had 2 runs for a win and a second last time out. But I think Feather Boa will certainly get the better of Miss Daisy in this lineup, and she'll go very, very close to getting the job done. Feather Boa, a price 14 to 10 in the market. Randall Simons rides for the second time. Stuart Pettigrew, your conditioner here, and she's neatly drawn in gate number 2. The horse that I think we've got to keep an eye on is number 6, Mrs. Browning. Winner on debut, Vitin Inventrix, wasn't the strongest of maiden fields, but a horse that could have any amount of improvement left to come. She's been priced up at 5 to 1 in the market, now has a first run for Sean Terry, Calvin Abeb aboard, drawn out in gate number 8, and a runner that I'd keep a very, very close eye on. But in terms of those bipots and place accumulators, I'm going to be with number 2, Feather Boa. Miss Daisy, a horse that has to be given respect after winning last time out, beating Mercury Rising over 1200 meters, going from start to finish. 60 kgs on the back this time out. Takes on the 3 O's, 3 draw, and would be no surprise if you were to turn the form around with Feather Boa, but I think Feather Boa will certainly confirm the Hollywoodbets Greyville form with Miss Daisy, and I think Feather Boa will go close to notching up that third career victory at just the 6th start. We'll move along to the next race on the card, which is race number 5, 1450 meters, and this race is for the Colts and Galdians. Bloodstock SA Sales Cup, 20 past 2 is the time you need to get those jackpot 1 bets on. And race number 5, well, this is a tricky race. Just one scratching off number 5, I Am Giant. We have a field of 14 runners that are going to compete in this lineup, and I'm going to take no chances here. In terms of my pick 6, I'm going to play the field. I'm going to include all 14 runners here, and I'm hoping for the best possible result for me. Now, Tamarisk Tree is your favorite at 33 to 10. I picked up this horse on debut when getting the job done. I thought one that could run well at 12 to 1 in the market. Didn't find any market support. Was, I'd say, unfriendly in the market because money came for other runners, and Tamarisk Tree was a comfortable winner. I think this horse cantered home in the final 200 meters of the race. Muzieni aboard, he overcame the draw. He got this horse into a striking position, and he was too good for the opposition. And Robbie Sage, I think he's got a decent horse on his hands here. He's drawn in gate number 10, so not a good draw once again, but Muzi, no doubt he'll have an idea of where he's going to position this horse. The negative for me is that he does drop in trip to 1450, and he takes on a competitive field. He takes on horses that could just be more streetwise over the distance than he is at this point in time. And Tamarisk Tree, certainly a horse that has to be given the utmost of respect. A horse like Now I Got You, after getting that win out the way last time out, he's drawn out in gate number 15. He'll come into 14 now with a scratch in. Not drawn well, but one to include into the mix. Mover and Shaker, who won a nice race, first round Alpha Galdian on Hollywoodbets Durban July Day in the sales race for Colts and Galdians. He's drawn in gate number 4. Time to Shine, a serious contender for top honors here, I feel. Drawn in gate number 8, one that I'd include into the mix. Power Broker, 2-time winner, Diego de Gavea now takes the ride. He's drawn out wide as well. So the more I look at this field, the more tricky it does seem to be. So I'm going to go the field here, and I think you could get a decent result. But healthy respect for horses like Now I Got You, Tamarisk Tree, Fosti Novo, a horse that was fancied on debut, I think include into the mix. Unzen, this horse is going to enjoy 1450. After that debut run over 1,000 meters, I just thought to myself, next time out over 1,400, this horse should be in the winner's enclosure, not knowing that he'd be taking his part in such a competitive field. But Unzen, keep a very close eye on him. So a competitive race, and go as wide as your budget does allow in race number 5. We'll move along to race number 6. A race that is a feature. It's a Group 2, 1,450 meters, top bed, Joburg Spring Fillies and Mares Challenge, the Grade 2 over the 1,450 meters. Race number 6, 14:55 rather is the time you need to get your jackpot 2 bets on. And it is another competitive field, but Desert Miracle, she comes out. And Desert Miracle, 9 starts, 4 wins for 3 seconds. And she's a horse that does return from a 210-day rest. But if she doesn't just need the run, if she's racing fit, I'm sure the Mike de Kock team would have her in tip-top condition for this run. She's a horse that could certainly win first time after a rest. Drawn out in gate number 10 with Samanga Kumalo aboard, and a Desert Miracle. We know that she's a highly regarded sort from the Mike de Kock team. She's been disappointing in her last 2 starts, but I think she's had valid excuses over 1,600 and 1,800 meters respectively. Dropping in trip to 1,400, could just see her bouncing back to her best form. She's 1 from 1 over the course and distance and at the course. And Desert Miracle, a horse that I'll certainly be given the utmost of respect to. Big Burn, she's a horse that has a first run for Sean Terry. 5-time winner from 12 starts. Calvin Habib takes a ride. She's drawn out in gate number 4. And she is the best weighted horse in the race. She's on a mark of 122. She's a runner that ran an absolute cracker in the Mercury Sprint last time out behind Captain's Ransom. That was over 1,200 meters. That was a Group 1 race. She ran in the South African Filly Sprint at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. She ran 4th behind Captain's Ransom. So Big Burn, she's a quality sort from the now Sean Terry yard. And if she just doesn't need this outing, if they aren't just using, they probably are using this run as a prep run, but if she just doesn't need the run, I think that Big Burn is a horse that should be the one to beat, despite Desert Miracle having tons of ability. Top quality sorts on show here. Big Burn, Desert Miracle, healthy respect for these two horses. Homely Girl, maybe one for trifectas and quartets. A horse like Supreme Quest, another one, trifectas and quartets. And then number 10, Give Me a Shot. This is the horse that I thought could, if there's going to be one that topples the top two, I think Give Me a Shot is a horse. 51.5 kgs on the back, drawn in gate number 2, 2 runs to date. She won on debut when she beat Give Me the Flame. Then she took her place in a group 2, beaten behind Gobsmacked, who's unbeaten from the Johan Janse van Vuren yard. She returns off a 2-month layoff, but with just 51.5 kgs on the back, receiving weight from the entire field, the horse with the most scope for improvement. I think Give Me a Shot is a horse that, guys, don't discount this individual. She's been priced up at around 5-2 in the market. The Michael and Adam Azzi stable is currently flying at the moment up in the Highveld, and with Muzieni taking the ride, he's riding well. He's riding at the top of his game. I think Give Me a Shot is the one to throw into the mix as well. So I think it's a 3-horse race. This Group 2 over 1,450 meters. And I'm just going to include 3 horses in those pick 6 bets. Numbers 1, 5 and 10. And Give Me a Shot. This horse, expect a big performance from her if number 1, Big Burn, and horse number 5, Desert Miracle, don't come to the party. We'll move along to race number 7. This is the second of the features on the afternoon. It's another Group 2 top bet. Mike O'Connor, Joburg Spring Challenge, 1,450 meters, 3:30 is the time you need to get your bets on for race number 7. It's a computer form A class, average rating of a 112. And yeah, it's another race that you can make a case for quite a few runners in this lineup. Horses that are distance suited, some that are course suited as well. And a horse like William Robertson, now last time out he had to concede a lot of weight to the winner, Forevermind, 10 kgs to be exact. Beaten 1 3/4 of a length. He was doing his best work late on in the day. He's now best drawn, and he's a lot better off at the weights with Forevermind. William Robertson, he's gone down 3.5 kgs, whereas Forevermind has gone up 7 kgs. So to put that into perspective, he's 10.5 kgs better off for 1 3/4 of a length beaten. So William Robertson should comfortably turn the form around with Forevermind. Despite Forevermind being a front runner, I think William Robertson will get the better of him this time out. After the rain, well, it's good to see this individual up in the Highveld representing the Gareth Van Zyl team. He's a smashing looking son of Master of My Fate. He's a great individual. He tries a distance for the first time, that being 1450, but he has won over 1400 last time out, beating Party Time at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. And there was lots of pace in the race, but he's a horse that had superior pace to Party Time, and he went from start to finish. Diego de Gavea takes a ride, and I'm interested to see how they go in this lineup, because Forevermind and After the Rain, hoping that these two horses don't go hell for leather up in front, because then it's going to certainly suit someone from off them, and these two horses could fall into a hole at the top of the lane, and that's certainly something that you don't want. But two horses that have to be given respect. William Robertson, certainly the horse that they all have to beat with the weight turnaround. And then horses like Bingwa, I think that's a horse that you can include into the mix at around 12-1 in the market. Mercantor, bottom of the weights, 51 kgs on the back, drawn out in gate number 9, third in the Amkamazi Stakes last time out, the Group 2 behind Swing Upon a Star, runner that does return from a rest, and one that we'll see how good he is in this lineup, taking on older horses. So a horse that I think you can include into the mix as well. And just having a look at the other runners, Puerto Manzano is one that I think you can include as well. So competitive race, but William Robertson is certainly the horse that they all have to beat at 14-10 in the market. But healthy respect for a horse like After the Rain, a horse that I don't think Gareth Van Zyl will take him up to the Highveld just to experience the course. He's certainly one that must be in with a lively chance. We'll move along to race number 8 next. And this is a top bet, middle stakes, 1,800 meters the distance. 4:05 is the time you need to get those bets on for race number 8. And Current favourite in this lineup is horse number 1, Supreme Dance, at 7-2 in the market. Pierce Striker Stratum takes the ride, and if I'm not mistaken, he's just 4 winners away from that milestone in his career. Drawn in gate number 3, Supreme Dance ran 4th last time out in the Tukela handicap behind Xavier at Hollywoodbets Greyville. He's on the mark of 96, and he's a runner that is distance suited. That has to be taken note of. 3 runs over the distance for 2 wins and a second. And I think that Supreme Dance will run an absolute cracker here. Back to Black, he's course suited. He ran behind another level last time out. He could have possibly just needed the out-in. He'll strip a much fitter individual this time out. And he runs for Roy Magna and Mark Khan. A horse like Great Affair, 54 kgs on the back. Samanga Kumalo takes a ride. Dropping in trip to 1800 meters now after running over 2000 meters last time out, where he was narrowly beaten behind Romeo's Magic, beaten just over half length in 3rd position. Slightly better draw, and a horse that hasn't won over the distance but has placed, and one that I think could go very well here for Baron Bortas and Yolandi Foslu, having first run for the new stable, and that stable is in some cracking form. And one that has to be given respect, especially with Samanga taking over in the irons. King's Crusade, 54.5 kgs on the back with Craig Zaki plus a half here. He's 1 from 1 over the distance. He runs for Joey Soma. Blinkers go on, and the blinkers could certainly bring this horse back to life just based on his last 3 performances, and one that you do include into the mix as well. But Supreme Dance, Great Affair, those are going to be the top 2 selections. In order of preference, 9 from 1. And then I'd include horse like number 10, King's Crusade, and a horse like number 3, Back to Black, into the mix as well. Number 7, definitely, maybe she returns from a lengthy layoff, and one that could possibly just need the outing. That's race number 8. And as I mentioned, Great Affair, Supreme Dance, those are going to be my top 2 selections in the 8th race on the program. Now we'll have a look at race number 9, the last race, the last leg of the Pick 6 place accumulators. If you run in going into this leg, all the best, and hopefully your fancy manages to come through and get the top honors in this race. 1800 meters the distance. It's an MR 76 handicap, and just having a look at the betting in this race, they bet in 7-2 the field, with your favorite being Clarkson, who runs for the Candace Dawson yard, and Muzieni is the jockey. Clarkson, he's pulled a neat draw of gate number 3 over this distance. He's a horse that's 1 from 1 over the trip, 1400, way short of his best, but he was doing his best work late on in the day last time out when Gavin Lerena rode him. He ran a cracking second to Never Too Clever, who's a horse that went back-to-back out the maidens. Poets Warrior, winner of his last start, 77, given 10 points, so 10 points for not beating the strongest of fields. The Inkosana has come through to win from that form line, and we'll see what that penalty has, what kind of effect the penalty has on him. But if you are in the camp of Poets Warrior, then include him into the mix. JP van der Merwe takes a ride on Sir Talon, maybe one that you can include into the mix as well. Wandering Star, he's a horse that is never too far off the action. Caden Brewer takes a ride, win off the penultimate start, 1.5 lengths behind Parker Jetrix last time out. Another runner that could get into the mix. La Chavez, he's one that over the 1800 meter trip, believe it or not, 5 runs for 1 win and 4 seconds. And last time out over 1700, beaten behind Parker Jetrix, but back to 1800, he could be seen to some good effect. Twin Turbo, he's distance suited, drawn in gate number 1, and this is going to be the second choice in the race for me. Twin Turbo, having a look at his price, 17-2 in the market. I think that's the value in the race. Calvin Abib takes a ride. He's a horse that is a front runner. He can go to the front, especially from the best of the draws. And if he gets cheap fractions up in front, I think Twin Turbo could be a hard horse to peg back. So this is the value in the race. There's no doubt at 8.5 to 1 in the market. Distance suited, course and distance suited, and Calvin Abib rides him for the second time. Mkabisi, one that you can include into the mix as well. So top choice is going to be number 6, Clarkson, but the second choice in the race for me is going to be number 1, Twin Turbo, who certainly looks to represent the value in the race, but there are a couple of others in with chances. And that's it for race number 9. Hopefully I've managed to guide you in the right direction all 9 races at Turffontein on the inside track, racing alongside Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Looking forward to the Group 2s on the afternoon. Looking forward to seeing Desert Miracle in her show. Hopefully she just doesn't need a run and she's a horse that can bounce back to her best for the connections. All the best, guys. Hopefully it's a profitable day's racing at Turffontein and of course at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. The best of luck and happy punting from myself, Rahil Radhakrishna, and the whole GTV Preview team. We wish you the best of luck and have a profitable day's racing come Saturday, both at Hollywoodbets Durbanville and Turffontein.